Hey everybody, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Some of you, all of you may have seen in the news just a couple days ago that there have been some major wildfires here in Colorado, and unfortunately, those have affected the town where I live. And it was the craziest thing. Thursday, I was doing a chat with Stephen Van Camp and Lewis, and I noticed during our chat that there was some kind of, it looked like just brown air flying by my window, and I thought, well, it's so windy outside, maybe it's a dust storm or something like that. And after our chat was done, I went outside and looked, and there was just this wall of black smoke on the other side of town, and I thought, that's a fire. So I went inside and talked to some people in the hall, and they were like, yeah, there's a fire started on the west side of town, blah, blah, blah. And then a few minutes later, my cousin's wife calls me and says, hi, I don't want to freak you out or anything, but your town just issued an evacuation order. And I was like, oh, okay. So winds were extremely high that day, like 100-mile-an-hour gusts. I mean, really strong winds. And here in Colorado, we don't take wildfire lightly. It is a very dry place, and fire can move very quickly, as it did on Thursday. So I was kind of in a just, what do you do kind of a situation. Like, well, yeah, that it's like, well, I'm not hanging around here to find out. So I just grabbed some toiletries, some necessities, and unplugged everything in the apartment, unplugged the grow lights, unplugged the fans and the anything in the apartment that was plugged in, and turned off the heat because I didn't want electricity going on and off and causing problems there if didn't, and within 10 minutes I was in my car, and of course traffic was backed up. I mean, just really moving very slowly, but people were very still, like, people let me out. People weren't, driving crazy or anything, but it took me about 15 minutes to get about a mile away from where I live, and then I went ahead and headed up about 20 miles north, where my cousins live, and luckily I was able to stay there overnight and watch on the news as just the adjoining town of Superior and my town, Louisville, they're saying something like 1,000 houses have burnt, businesses, and from the images you can see these places didn't just burn. I mean, they burned to the ground. They are nothing but smoking holes in the ground right now. It's unbelievable. And now today our temperatures are like 18 degrees below freezing. It's snowing, and after one day I was like, oh man, what happens if the air goes out, if the electricity goes out, and my plants are going to freeze or something. But I mean, relatively speaking, that's nothing at all compared to, what if your pets are in your house, or what if you left for work that day and then the evacuation orders were set and you couldn't even get back to your house, so you literally have nothing. I mean, it has been just unbelievably shocking, and I just feel kind of just paralyzed by it all. I mean, that we're not, of course, no one's allowed anywhere near the burnt areas, but just from seeing things on the news, and it's just one of those things, you see it happening to other places, but you don't think about it. You don't know what it's going to be like if it happens to you. And I'm just so lucky, and I even feel kind of guilty that I've gotten through this pretty much without any problems. But just like a mile down the road, people's houses are completely gone. So I'm sure that my students and coworkers have been affected by this, and some people won't be able to go back to their homes, even if their homes survived because they were in a burned zone. They won't be able to go back for days, maybe longer. And then of course there's the people that are completely without homes now. So please keep us in your thoughts, and So yeah, so I was very thrilled to be able to come back yesterday and find that my electricity hadn't even gone off, and it was, it was kind of cool in here, but not anything, not anything bad, nothing that would damage the plants. And I have hot water, I have electricity. I feel so lucky to have. If the winds had just been going a little bit more north, then it would be a totally different story. I could have lost everything in this place, but I was very lucky. So, that aside, we'll just take a quick look at what is going on. So, the story right now is that my Mormodia Jumbo World is in bloom. It looks beautiful. It's got 40 flowers on it. Best bloom ever for this plant. Really happy about it. And very thankful that it is okay. My cattleyas are pretty much almost all growing. Lots of new growth on these guys. Lots of new roots popping out. Love this. And still have an eye on Bulbophyllum crocium down here. You can see its little spikes just growing slowly, but hopefully within the next few weeks we'll see it pop out. Think of a miniature Bulbophyllum medusae, but with orange flowers instead of white flowers. So I'm really looking forward to that. My Rexes, as you can see down here, the new growths really popping up. Some of them moving quite fast, actually. There's one back here that I just can't believe how fast it's popping up. So I'm kind of trying to keep these guys watered, and here's double growths on Mayu, and then another one here popping up. So just lots of growth. Here's that Labiata semialba that put out just a huge leaf after this seedling leaf. This is starting to look more like an adult leaf, and it's rooting. Looks great. And then, oh yeah, this clone. This is a Trione Cassions clone. You can see how much bigger the next leaf is going to be. Usually, the pseudobulb is going to be about as tall as where the leaf sheath ends. So if the bulb is up here, of course the leaf's going to be out here somewhere. So crazy. I've always read that clones, Mariclones, will grow quite a bit faster than seedlings, and it definitely seems to be the case. So let's see what else. A little Welkeriana. I think Welkeriana is going to have to get potted in something else, but I'm not quite sure what that's going to be. Right now it is growing some new roots down into the pot, and the bulbs are kind of shrivelly, so it doesn't have a great root system. So that's going to be the focus this year, is to get it in something where it can root and store water and maybe be in a better position to bloom next year. So yeah, just a quick look at the seedlings, and hope you enjoyed the conversation with me and Steven that was put out earlier today. Just kind of chatting about our successes and failures for this year. Seedlings looking okay. I'm happy with them. These are mounted on just glued to a piece of antler. These two, this one and this one, seem okay. This one seems to be, doesn't seem like it's gonna make it, and this one seems like it's might be giving up too. It's like it doesn't have a place to grow out of, even though it did grow roots. Seems like it's missing a growing point here, which is kind of weird, but it's okay. And then Rebecca Northern, when I came back on December 27th, the flowers were all fallen off. And so it is completely dormant right now. It's bone dry. I'm going to keep her that way until springtime when the new growth starts coming out. And then my Signakeys Cooperi, this one did not bloom, but I've stopped watering it as well, so it should be dropping leaves soon. And that's it. So thank you for tuning in, and I'm glad to be here and still have my plants to be able to show you and share with you, and have a happy new year. I really hope that 2022 is a great year for everybody. And that's it. I'll see you next time right here on My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Bye.